Hi guys, welcome back to another video with your girl Science Woman 876. So I know you just did your Pep exams, and of course I got the tea for you. I have here the Science 2024 Pep paper. So we are going to go through it. Yes, we are. So stay tuned. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Alright, so there are 40 items on this test. As you know, they are all multiple choice. So number 1 says, which activity is harmful to the environment? Terracing is not harmful. B, organic farming, that's good for the environment. C, slash and burn. D, crop rotation. Slash and burn is the answer. C, because if you cut down the trees and burn them, that is actually causing air pollution. So C is the correct answer. The images below were taken from a poster. Carefully examine the images, then use them to answer item 2. So we have use both sides of paper. Okay, fix dripping pipes, plant a tree. Number 2, which could be a likely title for the poster. Ways to A, conserve the environment. B, recycle waste paper. C, use our hands. That's one of the silly ones I mentioned in the last video. And D, plant a tree. Those are actually all ways in which we can conserve the environment, right? So when you use both sides of the paper, then it causes you to use less paper, so you're conserving there. When you're fixing dripping pipes, you're actually conserving on water there. And when you plant a tree, it's actually good for the environment because you know all the uses of a tree, right? All right, number 3, which is a factor that can cause climate change? Is it A, build up of large amounts of dust particles in the air over time? Is that a factor that can cause climate change? B, building large concrete structures in cities. C, dumping large amounts of chemicals in rivers. D, releasing large amounts of carbon dioxide in the air over time. And D is the correct answer because releasing large amounts of carbon dioxide in the air over time, it actually changes the balance of the gases within the atmosphere. All right, so the amount of carbon dioxide can lead to climate change and global warming. So the answer for number 3 is D. All right, moving right along, the diagram below shows a large mass of land has changed over 20 years. Use the diagram to answer item 4. All right. And guys, are you realizing that this question actually repeated? Because I know that I did this question in my last video. Let me not bother to waste my time. Number 4, which is likely cause for the change that occurred. The correct answer is C, changes in global temperature. So that was actually a part of my previous video. Alright, the diagram below shows an incorrect order of the organs in the digestive system. Study it carefully, then use it to answer item 5. And again, this question was actually a part of my last video. However, they structured it a little differently. So let's go. So we have mouth, stomach, esophagus, small intestine, large intestine. Number 5 asks, which 2 organs should switch places to show the correct order? Is it A, stomach and esophagus, B, mouth and esophagus, C, mouth and stomach, D, small intestine and large intestine? The correct answer is A, stomach and esophagus. So the order is mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine. Use the diagram below to answer item 6. Wait a minute. Number 6 is actually a repeated question. What is the name of the organ labeled X? That is your lung. So C is the answer. Number 7, which is a property of sound? This question also looks familiar. Is it A, it travels in one direction from its source? B, it travels faster in air than in solids. C, it travels in all directions from its source. D, its pitch is affected by the color of the vibrating medium. The correct answer is C, it travels in all directions from its source. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 8. When the machine is turned on, it makes a loud and high-pitched sound. Number 8, which word best describes the sound the machine makes when it is turned on? Is it A, rhythmic? Is it B, unpleasant? C, unusual? D, muffled? If it makes a high-pitched sound, one that is loud and high, that's not necessarily rhythmic. It sounds like it's unpleasant. That's not unusual. And that's definitely not muffling. So the correct answer would be unpleasant. Number 9, which is an example of a non-luminous object? Something that does not have its own light. Is it A, car headlights? B, cell phone screen? C, bicycle reflectors? A lit candle? The correct answer is C, a bicycle reflector, because it is giving off a light based on light being reflected. The diagram below shows what happens to a light ray as it makes contact with an object. Use the diagram to answer item 10. So we have the light ray there traveling in a straight line, and we have the object. 10 says, which is true about the object? That object is A, shiny, B, opaque, C, translucent, or D, transparent. So we're definitely not seeing any evidence that it is shiny, right? Because we're not seeing any light being reflected. We're not seeing any light being passed through, so we can say it is opaque. Translucent, I'm not seeing arrows showing anything being absorbed, right? And nothing being passed through. And D, we're not seeing any light ray passing through completely, so the correct answer is opaque. Examine the diagram below, then use it to answer item 11. Light ray striking the reflective surface, light ray bouncing off the reflective surface. Number 11, which is a likely characteristic of the reflective surface? The reflective surface is A, uneven, not correct. B, curved, no indication. C, rough, no indication. D, smooth. D is the correct answer. Number 12, which is true about all types of materials? Is it A, they can exist as either a solid, liquid, or gas? B, they are transparent or translucent. What about being opaque? So we can eliminate B. C, they take the shape of any container they are in. That sounds like a liquid, so we can eliminate. D, they melt when they are heated. Not correct. The correct answer is A. Number 13, which is a characteristic of an irreversible change? The substance undergoes a change in state. That's A. The mass of the substance increases. That's B. The substance changes color. That's C. The substance cannot return to its original form. That is D. D is the correct answer. For an irreversible change, you cannot get the substance to the original form. Read the observation below, then use it to answer item 14. When warm air was blown onto the surface of a mirror, water droplets were formed. 14 says, which process was being observed? Is it A, evaporation? Not correct. B, condensation. Condensation is correct. Freezing, no. Melting, no. The label below is from a common household product. Examine the label, then use it to answer item 15. Danger! Inhaling spray may be harmful, extremely flammable. Container may explode if heated. 15. What advice would you offer to a person using the product? A. Avoid storing the product in cold areas. B. Avoid using the product near windows. C. Do not store the product in hot areas. Definitely. C would be the answer. D. Do not use the product near water. 16. Which pair of words is needed to correctly complete the sentence below? Matter will change from a liquid to solid through the process called freezing. So the correct answer is A. Read the statement below, then use it to answer item 17. A student wanted to clean up a spill without getting any liquid on his hand. 17. Which should be a property of the glove that the student wears? So if he wants no water on his hand, then A, it can be absorbent, B, elastic, C, strong, or D, waterproof. We can eliminate B and C. But let us look into A. What is absorbent? Remember, we spoke about it in our last video. Absorbent is when water is being soaked up. Alright, so it's being soaked up. D, waterproof. That means it's resistant to water. So the correct answer would be, the correct answer is a D. Because thinking about it, if he doesn't want any water on his hand, if he wears a material that is absorbent, it could soak up and actually reach his hand. But if he's wearing something that is resistant to water, then it will definitely repel the water, so he will get no water on his hand. The diagram below shows 4 rods of equal length made from different materials. Each rod was heated at one end using a lit candle. The time taken for the other end of the rod X to get hot was noted. Use the information to answer item 18. So I'm giving you a minute to take a look at that. Number 18 says, which material is poorest at conducting heat? The material made from A, metal, B, wood, C, concrete, D, glass. So let us look at this, right? Think about it. So they're asking you which material is poorest at conducting heat. A poor conductor of heat is an insulator, all right? However, in this case, a wooden rod would be an insulator. However, it did not ask anything about an insulator. It said which material is poorest at conducting heat. So it's not necessarily an insulator. We basically have to be looking at the time here. So the one with the least amount of time, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I would choose A, metal, as the answer. Number 19 looks familiar as well, which diagram likely represents an irreversible change, something that cannot be undone. Let me not waste my time here. The correct answer, as was said in the previous video, is C, as in chocolate. Number 20, which statement best describes mixtures? Is it A, they contain one type of substance, B, they cannot be physically separated, C, they are formed when a solid dissolves, D, they contain 2 or more different substances? The correct answer is D. The diagram below shows a container filled with a mixture. Carefully examine the diagram, then answer item 21. Alright, so we have a container with sawdust, metal thumbtack, fine sand particles, and water. Number 21, in what order should the mixture be separated to collect the water from the mixture? Alright, so bearing in mind all the items that are there in the water, would you use A, first use a magnet, then use a sieve, and then filter to collect the water? Sounds sensible. But let us look at the other options. B, first use a sieve, then use a magnet, and then collect water. That doesn't sound too logical. C, first use a magnet, then use a sieve, and then collect the water. D, first use a sieve, evaporate mixture, then use a magnet to collect water. Is evaporation really necessary there? No, it is not. So we can eliminate D. We can also eliminate B. 22, which is a solid liquid mixture? So a mixture of solid and liquid. Is it A, rice and peas? That is solid. B, cornflakes and milk. That is solid liquid. So the correct answer is B. The diagram below shows the observation made after 4 different mixtures were allowed to sit for 5 minutes. Use the information to answer item 23. Alright, so look at mixture 1, look at mixture 2. So in mixture 1, it is evident that the particles are still there. Nothing has been dissolved. Nothing has changed. In mixture 2, we are realizing that the particle, we're seeing that the second jar changed color. So it is completely dissolved. For mixture 3, we are seeing particles. We're seeing some being dissolved, some still remains. For mixture 4, we're seeing the particles, and it seems like the particles changed but has not been completely dissolved. So the correct answer for number 23 is mixture 2, which is C. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for part 2, and I still will be dropping the part 2 to my previous video. Bye!